Hi, this is Richard Kerr from the Bulimia Help Method. On this page you can download the first chapter of our Bulimia Help Method program. Also keep watching the video as I'll be showing the first chapter as a video too. We've had just under 10,000 members come through the Bulimia Help Method program, so obviously it's been quite successful at helping people overcome bulimia. But this version I'm most proud of. The newest version contains over 5 years of direct experience working with people to helping them overcome bulimia. It also includes the thoughts and feedback of over 50 members currently on the program. I'm very proud of it and I'm sure you'll find it helpful. Keep watching the video and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Living with bulimia is really tough. We feel compelled to binge on food that we must later purge. We feel ashamed, dirty, and try to hide our secret addiction. It digs into us, creating dark thoughts and undercutting our self-esteem. Life simply becomes a tiring show where we constantly put on a happy face to hide our dark secret. We feel weak, broken, confused, lost, and hopeless. It's really no wonder that at times we feel like we're going crazy. But it doesn't have to be like this. You may have heard that it's impossible to recover from bulimia. You may have heard that you'll have bulimia for the rest of your life. I'm telling you right now that this is just not true. You can be 100% totally cured. It can happen to you. There is such a thing as total recovery for life. And I'm not talking about, watch out, be careful, bulimia might come back to haunt you any day type of recovery. I'm talking about 100% complete freedom. Food becomes just food type recovery. We have witnessed this firsthand time and time again. My wife Ali had full-blown bulimia for 10 years. She followed the program and now Ali is not just in recovery, she is fully recovered. And it's all here. All the information you need for recovery is here in the Bulimia Help Method. No time wasting, no unnecessary content, and no nonsense. Just easy to follow steps and techniques in a system that works. So let's get started, shall we? Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between a person with bulimia and a non-bulimic person? Well, obviously, one binges and purges and the other doesn't. But wouldn't that mean that you're not bulimic in between binging and purging? Do you feel like a non-bulimic in between binges? For many, the answer is certainly no. So what's the real difference? The difference is a non-bulimic does not crave, desire, or want to binge. A non-bulimic is completely free from the urge to binge. In fact, you could say that the only difference between a bulimic and a non-bulimic is that a bulimic person will experience an urge to binge. The difference is the urge to binge. This is what makes a bulimic person bulimic. Let's think about this a little. No matter what the trigger may be, no matter what the situation is, and no matter what your thinking is, before every single binge, you will experience an urge to binge. This is the one universal constant before every binge. Here's another way of looking at it. Imagine you're alone in the house and you're bored, you're feeling down and you've had a stressful day. There's food in the cupboard, but strangely, you have no desire or urge to binge on food. Then would you binge? I'm guessing not. That would be like drinking 5 gallons of water even though you had no thirst or urge to do so. The point here is this. If you didn't experience an urge to binge, you wouldn't binge. And therefore, you would not be bulimic. It's the urge to binge that makes us bulimic. If the urge to binge is making us bulimic, then in order to recover from bulimia, we need to remove the urge to binge. Let me repeat that. To recover from bulimia, we need to remove the urge to binge. That's it. That is your new goal for recovery. Recovery no longer has to feel like some insurmountable and vague, impossible dream. Now it can be summed up in one powerful, easy to understand sentence. Removing the urge to binge is your key to recovery. This is your new path to living free. Once the urge to binge is gone, your bulimia is gone. Changing the definition of bulimia. Bulimia is defined as episodic binge eating, usually followed by purging, such as self-induced vomiting, laxative abuse, excessive exercise, or fasting. I'm sure you already know this. I think this definition could be improved on. For me, a better definition of bulimia would be regular urges to binge on food, which can be followed by episodes of binging and purging. The key difference here is the phrase regular urges to binge on food. For some reason, everyone seems to forget this really important aspect of bulimia. The 2 reasons you feel compelled to binge. We now know that we need to remove any binge urges in order to recover. That's good to know, but if we don't know how to remove the binge urge, then that information doesn't really help us much. So the next big question to ask is, what causes the urges that lead to binging, or the binge urge? To answer this question, we must first understand the different types of binge urges, the body binge urge and the mind binge urge. Let's learn a little more about them. The body binge urge. This is the big one. All people with bulimia will experience this type of binge urge, and it probably accounts for most of your binge urges. For some, curing this binge urge alone is enough for full recovery. You may experience this binge urge because your body is malnourished and dehydrated. Purging, restricting, and not eating enough food keeps your body in a malnourished state. Being malnourished creates extremely powerful binge urges. This can sound a bit crazy considering bulimics tend to eat a lot of food, but it's true. As a bulimic, you purge either through fasting, excessive exercise, laxatives, or vomiting, which is certain to ensure that your body remains malnourished. In this state, the hormones leptin and ghrelin associated with fullness and hunger are not functioning properly due to starvation. The resultant strive to survive makes you want to binge, which shouldn't really come as a surprise. When you're hungry, you experience gentle hunger pangs. And when you're excessively hungry and malnourished, you experience massive hunger pangs or urges to binge. This is quite natural. There is nothing strange about it. Your body thinks that you're in the middle of a famine, and it is doing everything it can to ensure you're eating enough food. To stop these massive hunger pangs, we simply need to teach our body that the famine is over. We do this by following a structured eating plan. And it's the single most powerful thing you can do to recover fully. The mind binge urge. For some, solving the body binge urge is enough to cure their bulimia. But for others, recovery can be a little more complicated. If you've had bulimia for a long time, you may be relying on bulimia for psychological support, and this can lead to mind binge urges. The mind binge urge starts above the neck and is usually triggered by an uncomfortable feeling or emotion, such as stress or anxiety. It is generally associated with avoidance, whether it is something tangible such as work obligations or something intangible like emotions. There is a strong desire to eat food to dull thought processes and numb emotional pain. Put simply, we binge on food to quiet the mind or to eliminate uncomfortable feelings. So, what's in the program? The rest of the Bulimia Help method is dedicated to showing you exactly how you can completely remove the 2 binge urges. To begin with, we explore your bulimia and help you understand it in a new light. After that, the program is split up into stages. Stage 1 of the program is called Rebalancing Your Body. In this stage, we provide you with lots of practical information on how to remove the body binge urge. Stage 2 is called Diffusing the Binge Urge. In this stage, we will explore the role your thoughts and emotions play in your bulimia. Here we will provide you with practical steps to remove the mind binge urge. Once we remove the binge urges, you will no longer feel compelled to binge. If you have no urge to do something, you won't do it. If you don't binge, then you won't purge. If you aren't binging and purging, you are no longer bulimic. And then you are recovered. But that's not all. Some of you may have been struggling with weight, food issues for years prior to the onset of bulimia. Some of you may never have had a normal relationship with food. Perhaps you fear going back to your old eating habits as you know they caused you the trouble in the first place. This is where stage 3, intuitive training, will really help you. You will learn how to stop relying on calories, food plans and food rules to dictate how you should eat, and instead you will rely on your intuition. This is an extremely powerful and simple way to eat that will allow you to maintain a healthy weight for life without any pain, suffering, rules or plans. This stage will show you exactly how to have a lifelong, healthy relationship with food. I believe this stage to be the secret key to lifelong recovery from bulimia. Don't worry if this all sounds a little unfamiliar at this point. Right now, I just want to give you a simple brief outline. We'll explore these concepts in much more detail throughout the program. Just stick with us and it'll all become very clear. I guarantee by the end of this program you will look at your bulimia in a completely new light. Self-improvement without you having to think about it. Our program doesn't focus on self-improvement. We don't ask you to build your confidence or improve your self-esteem. Our focus is on removing the binge urge. One of the reasons for this is because studies show that there's no scientific evidence that resolving the underlying psychological problems leads to recovery. We focus on removing the urge to binge, and this is where the magic happens. Nourishing your body, stopping binging, and regaining your life free from bulimia are the best things you can do to rebuild your confidence and improve your self-esteem. The best part of this is that it all happens naturally, over time, without you having to think about it. The Bulimia Help Method has helped thousands overcome bulimia, and many of them say they can't believe the difference in their mental well-being after recovery. They feel so much more confident and positive. It's as if you slowly remember the person you used to be before your eating disorder took over, except now you're a little wiser and more mature. So do not think, I need to improve my self-esteem before I can recover, or that you have too many issues you can't recover from bulimia. The belief that you need to resolve all your other issues before you can recover is not true. It is the other way around. First, recover from bulimia by removing the urge to binge, then watch as your well-being is naturally restored. Will my weight spiral out of control? I know this is a big concern to many, so let me stress, by following this program, I assure you that your weight will not spiral out of control. Research shows that most people with bulimia in the healthy weight range who adopt regular eating habits and don't purge end up within 1 kilogram of where they started, and some even lose weight. A new study led by a researcher from Drexel University suggests that bulimia leads to weight gain, and the longer you battle bulimia, the more your weight will escalate. We will go into this in much more detail later, but for now, please rest assured your weight will not spiral out of control. How will I know when I'm recovered? Put simply, you will know when you're recovered from bulimia because you will no longer crave or desire to binge on food. But I purge if I eat anything. I don't have to binge to want to purge. For some, eating even the smallest amount of food can lead to a purge. Don't worry, we also offer practical advice on how to address this issue throughout the program. How long does recovery take? Although everyone is different, in general it takes around 6 months for the binge urges to disappear, and a further 6 months to rebuild your confidence around food. Many of our members feel as though they are fully recovered around the 12 to 18 month mark. If this feels like a long time, please do not feel disheartened. What we're aiming for here is total recovery for life. You will start to notice the benefits of recovery almost immediately. Recovery will be an amazing adventure of discovery. Look at recovery as a challenging adventure of discovery. Only you're not exploring a lost civilization or forgotten land. Instead, you're discovering the amazing person you are without the shackles of bulimia. If you've had bulimia for a long time, you may not be sure who you are without bulimia. Like a superhero discovering his powers for the first time, so too will you discover all you can be once you're free from the kryptonite that is bulimia. Your journey will bring thousands of discoveries, with new ones arriving each day. You will discover what calm feels like, what balance feels like, what contentment feels like. You will discover that you can easily engage in activities that would previously struck fear into the deepest recesses of your heart. You will discover what it feels like to have an abundance of energy and a lightness of spirit. You will discover new interests and new passions. You will discover your inner strength and self-reliance. You will discover all the amazing, fantastic things that make you the truly wonderful, caring, loving, soulful person you already are. And this is an important point. This is who you already are. This isn't a new you. You aren't changing. Bulimia was holding you back, robbing you of your life and draining your soul. You were always made to fly, but bulimia had you shackled to the ground. Recovery from bulimia is a reward, not an ordeal. Yes, at times recovery may be challenging, but the benefits far outweigh any effort required. It's like having to climb a mountain to reach your dream holiday destination. Sure, the mountain climb was a challenge, but that is the last thing you'll be thinking about when you're enjoying your dream holiday. But this undersells recovery. Recovery is much better than that. Recovery will vastly improve every aspect of your life. It's like winning the lottery every day for the rest of your life. Only better. Life will feel like a reward, a victory lap, a second chance. Every day will feel like you have won. Recovery will be the best gift you will ever give yourself in your life. So as you can see, there's very specific reasons why you feel compelled to binge on food. And once you address those reasons, you start to move towards recovery. We have seen it time and time again, and we know these steps work for recovery.